Back, ask and it is given, and we are going backwards with the processes. And today we're going to do process number 21, reclaiming one's natural state of health. Now, before I start this process, I want to say to you that this process is not just for health, it applies to everything. And the reason I say that is because all the thoughts that we think. So here's the important thing for all of us to understand. Each and every thought that we think creates a reaction or a response in our body. So our body is so closely connected to our mind because they really are the same organism, are they not? Right? Our mind is housed in this body. And so every thought that we think creates a chemical reaction or a chemical response in our body. That chemical response either promotes well-being by keeping the body in equilibrium, in the perfect functioning state, or it disrupts that equilibrium. So our body, if it gets disrupted, it's like you lose your balance. If you were wearing heel shoes and one of the heels broke off, you would be out of balance. You wouldn't be able to walk properly. And then what happens is you compensate. So your body, our bodies are beautiful chemical factories that are capable when something goes wonky, our body has the capacity to compensate for it so that we can keep functioning. But sometimes the imbalance that is created is so out of whack that our body cannot compensate for it. Or sometimes the situation that is creating that imbalance is so protruded in terms of going on for such a long time that our body in the beginning can compensate, but in the end cannot continue to compensate, and that's when physical ailments start showing up. But what I want you to understand is that anyone who has a money problem, a problem of with relationships, with work, with anything else, all of those problems show up somewhere, somehow in our bodies. Because our bodies reflect how we think about the world. And this is exactly why a lot of times people who are seemingly happy still have problems because they are seemingly happy, you see. But is that happiness really internal? Is it reaching all the way down into their soul? So let's get back to the chapter which is called Reclaiming One's Natural State of Health. And the reason this is important is because, like I said, every thought that we think shows up somewhere in our body. Okay, so Abraham says when to use this process: when you do not feel well, when you have been given an unsettling diagnosis, when you are feeling pain, when you want to feel more vital or energetic, and when you feel a vague fear associated with your body. All of those are areas where we can use this process. But you can use the same process for money. You can use the same process for relationships. You can use this process for everything. It applies to everything, but the words change. The process does not change, or the way you're doing the exercise does not change, but the words that you would use will change. Okay, so then the current emotional set point range, Abraham says that we should do this process if our emotional set point is anywhere between 22 and 10. 10 is frustration, irritation, impatience, and 22 is powerlessness, despair, depression, fear, or grief. Really, really negative emotions, all the way up to those emotions that are still negative but not that hurtful. Okay, so now Abraham says, in order to do this process, lie down and close your eyes and just breathe a little bit. And then this is the self-talk to do in order to feel physically better. Now you can write these down, or you can speak them into your phone and hear them, or you can play the YouTube when it's available. But these are nice things to say about your body all the time. Like, you could do this every day, and you could do it with your eyes wide open. You don't have to be lying down. But lying down and closing your eyes kind of puts you in close to a meditative state. And when you're close to a meditative state, your body is more relaxed and you're more open to allowing and believing these statements. Here's the one thing that I'm going to say to you that Abraham has not said here, and that is, you have to believe what you're saying. Because if you believe what you're saying, then it's going to have a tenfold impact. If there is a statement among these statements that we are going to go through just now that you don't quite believe, then take the time. Take the time to research it, to analyze it, to maybe look for more Abraham videos that explain that belief, or you can post a question below this video and I will be sure to respond to it. But believability is where everything starts. Law of attraction is all about the play between beliefs and momentum. Okay, so it is natural for my body to be well, just like children. Our natural state is being healthy. And Abraham has said that our bodies have the capacity to remain healthy forever. The only reason our bodies deteriorate is because we don't give enough attention to the way we think our thoughts. Because think about it. Some of our organs rejuvenate, or you have a completely rejuvenated organ in a couple of months, in 2 months, right? Because the cells are always rejuvenating. So technically speaking, in a year, or I don't know what the time frame is, but in 2 years, you could have a brand new body from head to toe, completely brand new, because brand new cells, right? So it is the natural state of our body to be able to rejuvenate and regain health. Whatever gets used up, so we are not like, anything else like wood or plastic that gets worn down with use. No, our body is continuously replacing those worn down cells with new, brand new cells. Even if I don't know what to do in order to get better, my body does. My body knows what to do in order to get better, even if I don't. Because my body is an integrated organism. It knows, each cell of the body knows what other cells in the body are capable of and what they do. Okay, I have trillions of cells with individual consciousness, and they know how to achieve their individual balance. Every cell of our body is vibrating, and every cell of our body, even though it may not make a statement in so many words about what it wants, but it is always asking the universe for its own preferences. Yes, the cells of our body, if we subject them to temperatures that they are not comfortable in, they ask for a change in temperature. The cells of our body, if we're sitting in a place that's not comfortable, the cells of our body are also asking for our comfort, and the cells of our body are also asking for well-being. They want to thrive, and they are also asking on our behalf. They are also asking source for well-being. Okay, so um, the thing is, you've got to believe that that is happening as well. Because when you believe that, then you add your power to the power that your body has. When this condition began, I didn't know what I know now. And Abraham is referring to law of attraction. So maybe when you had a problem, you did not know what law of attraction was, but now you know better. Now you know that with your thoughts, you can control everything. If I had known then what I know now, this condition couldn't have even got started. You see, because when you are aware of your thoughts, then you never let momentum to get out of hand so much that a manifestation takes place. You start understanding when your emotions are going negative, and you stop and you think thoughts that prevent you from going downhill and crashing at the base of that hill, right? I don't need to understand the cause of this illness. Like everything else, we don't need to probe. We don't need to go backwards and figure out why it happened, who made it happen, how did it come about. We don't need to do any of those things. All we need to do is start in this moment and go forwards. Not backwards, forwards. I don't need to explain how it is that I'm experiencing this illness. I don't need to explain it. I don't need to explain it to myself, and I don't need to explain it to anyone else either. Because here's the thing, every time you try to explain something, either to yourself or to someone else, you are on the negative side of the equation, and you're adding energy to it by thinking about it. Okay. I have only to gently, eventually release this illness. It doesn't matter that it got started because it's reversing its course right now. So, folks, if you're going to use these words, you have to be open to believing them. If you don't believe them today, don't say these words. Please, don't do this process if you're not in a place where you're willing to start believing. You're willing to be open to changing. Because remember, the reason you are where you are today is because of the way you thought your thoughts in the past. In order for the future to be different, we need to think a completely different set of thoughts. It's natural that it would take some time for my body to begin to align to my improved thoughts of well-being. We all know that there is a buffer of time, but sometimes people are impatient. They're like, I asked for it and I want it now and I want it right this moment. Why can't I have it now? And when you express that impatience, you're actually focused on the lack of the thing that you want. And when you focus on something from the point of view of lack, it cannot come. You slow it down by doing that. And so the purpose of this statement is to make you feel okay with where you are. So all these statements are basically the process of soothing yourself in the 4-step process. So step 1, I know where I am, I'm not well. Step 2 is where I want to go, and I know where that is, I want to be well. Step 3 is soothing myself. And step 4 is increasing positive momentum. So there's no hurry about any of this. My body knows what to do. Well-being is natural to me. My inner being is intricately aware of my physical body. My cells are asking for what they need in order to thrive, and source energy is answering those requests. I'm in very good hands. I will relax now to allow communication between my body and my source. I can do that. I can do that easily. And the purpose is when you finish these words, when you come to the end of these statements, it is preferable if at that point in time you drift into sleep, because sleep in itself is a healer. And if after saying these statements, if you could drift into sleep, you've gone into sleep from a place of having soothed yourself, from a place of having improved your vibration, and from a place of opening the door towards allowing. And all of those things combined will lead to healing. Okay, so then Abraham says, now just lie there and enjoy the comfort of the mattress beneath you and focus upon your breathing in and out, in and out. It's like a meditation. And so there are various levels of consciousness. When you breathe as you're laying down and you close your eyes and you listen to these statements, you're not fully conscious, aware of everything around you because your eyes are closed. So if you close one of the five senses, if you withdraw one of the five senses from the world, you've gone below in terms of where your consciousness is. And if after doing this process you drift into a nap or maybe sleep for half an hour or something like that, then you've gone even further down. And that's where all healing takes place, because all healing is vibrational. And when you go to sleep, you're not getting in the way. So first we go into meditation and then we drift off to sleep. Okay, so as you're breathing, Abraham says you will likely begin to feel soft, gentle sensations in your body. Smile and acknowledge that this is source energy specifically answering your cellular request. You are now feeling the healing process. Do nothing to try to help it or intensify it. Just relax, breathe, and allow it. And then next, Abraham talks about the sensation of pain. So what is pain? Pain is the process through which our cells ask the universe for energy. That's what pain is. It's asking. This sensation of pain is an indicator that source is responding to my cellular request for energy. This sensation of pain is a wonderful indicator that help is on its way. I will relax into this sensation of pain because I understand that it's indicating an improvement. Because anytime you're asking source for improvement and you're receiving, you are on your way towards improvement. It's as simple as that. So Abraham then goes forward to talk about questions that people ask. And some of the questions are, well, what if somebody has something that's incurable? Well, all that is that they've accepted a label that someone's given them, that a medical professional has given them, and now they've accepted all the limiting beliefs that come with it. So you almost have to, not to say that you don't accept medical help, you do, because all of scientific discovery, all of medicine is a result of scientific discovery. And where does scientific discovery come from? It comes from source. So there is nothing wrong with accepting medication or procedures that are scientifically based, because they too have come as a response to the asking of those people who have been in pain or suffering and have been asking for ways to alleviate their condition. So all of scientific advancement comes from there. All right, so then Abraham is answering questions about people who maybe lose a limb. And then Abraham says that the only reason you can't regrow it is because there's no one on this planet today who believes that that is possible. And then Abraham talks about, what about the little ones? What about the unhealthy babies? And we say that they have been exposed to a vibration even in the womb that caused them to disallow well-being. So children, when they are born or when they are in the womb, they are pure positive energy. But they have receptors. They are absorbing the energy of the world around them. And if they encounter a lot of negative energy, they are absorbing that. And the result of that absorption is that they can develop physical conditions that are not conducive to well being. Okay. Then Abraham says, if we are asked if there is no source of illness, then why are there so many sick people? And Abraham answers, it is because they have found lots of excuses to hold themselves in vibrational discord with wellness. An example would be somebody says, I've been given this diagnosis. So now, as you talk about that diagnosis and as you research it and you find out more about it, all those things serve as excuses now, because what is a belief? A belief is just a thought. And as you research this disease, you form beliefs that disallow well-being. As you do not allow the well-being in, it shows up in shadows in your life that are illness in your body and deprivation of things that you want. Then, over time, you come to believe that that is a reality that has a source somewhere, and then you develop whole bodies of information to protect yourself from the evil source that never existed to begin with. Okay, so then Abraham is going into, if you have received a frightening diagnosis, what to do. If you get a diagnosis that is not what you want to hear, then the tendency is to say, oh my God, how did I get so far away from something that I want so much? And we say that it's not a big thing at all. It's just a series of little things. Being irritated a lot of the time can lead to a big manifestation in your body. Little things add up to become big things. Nothing big has to happen to result in a diagnosis that's scary. Little things can get you there. And that's why it's so important to pay attention and be mindful every day. That's why it's so important to pre-pave your day and to look for satisfaction and be forgiving and don't take life so seriously, because when you're light-hearted about things, that's when life goes really, really smoothly. Wellness that is being allowed or the wellness that is being denied is all about the mindset, the mood, the attitude, or the practiced thoughts. It's always the practiced thoughts, because moods are a result of your practiced thoughts. I've been there where I've been saying to people, oh, that person, they're always moody. Well, what is that? All it is that person has been displaying a habit of the way they think their thoughts. That's all. And if they change their habits, their whole personality changes. And then when that personality changes, everything else changes as well. The world that you live in changes when you choose different thoughts. Any disease could be, so I'm just reading from the book, any disease could be healed in a matter of days. Any disease, if distraction from it could occur and a different vibration dominate. And the healing time is about how much mix-up there is in all of that. For any malady in your physical body was a lot longer in coming than it takes to release it. So, any illness is just an extension of a negative way of thinking that has been going on for a period of time. Do you have to think specific thoughts, positive thoughts about your body in order for it to be the way you want it to be? No, but you have to not think the specific negative thoughts that keep well-being from flowing. If you could never again think about your body and instead just think pleasant thoughts, your body would reclaim its natural place of wellness. And why is that? Because it's not about the subject. Well-being is about the vibration. It is not about the subject. It is not about the specific subject. That is why things that seem to be unrelated are related in the world of law of attraction, because they're on the same vibration. They are vibrationally correlated. You could remain in these healthy bodies indefinitely. So we've talked about that, where our bodies are rejuvenating themselves on a daily basis. And you could remain in these bodies indefinitely if you would allow your environment to continue to produce new, continuing, life-summoning, pure, unresisted desire. You could be one who opened your vortex to continuously find new things to want, and those desires would continue to summon the life force through you. How wonderful, right? Every death is self-imposed. Okay, so now this here is a big discussion. Every death is self-imposed. Every death is suicide, as Abraham teaches it. Death is a withdrawal of consciousness. It is like taking attention from here and putting it there. And I love the example that Abraham has given here, where they say that it's like how we go to see a movie. We go to the movie, we enjoy it, it's over, we come back home. Then we go and see another movie, and then we come back home. From the point of view of our inner being, of non-physical, that's what's going on every time a soul is birthed. It lives like in the movie and then goes back home, then comes back again, enjoys another lifespan, goes back home, like being an actor in a movie. And that's all it is, and that's why there's really no need to take it as seriously as most of us do. Every death is brought about by the culmination of the vibration of the being. There's no exception to that. So why? Why does it happen? Well, two things. One, you lose interest in the world and you want to start again, or the contrast in this world, the pain, the struggle is so much that is not enduring anymore. You can't endure it and you want to leave and start again. Those are the two reasons why a decision to go back is made. Here is a rule of thumb that will help you. If you believe that something is good and you do it, it benefits you. If you believe that something is bad and you do it, it is very detrimental to you. There is nothing that you can do that is worse for yourself than to do something that you believe is inappropriate. And that is why when we tell a lie, it doesn't go well, because we have been taught that lies is wrong, right? So that's where all the value systems in society come from. And if you go against them without actually changing your beliefs about them, then it does not go well. That rule of thumb is a really good one to have handy. Okay, folks, we've reached the end of chapter 21. I hope you found that useful and enjoyable, and I look forward to seeing you tomorrow for chapter 20. Have a fantastic evening, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye for now.